In this episode, we talked to Jason Mills from the Affiliate School YouTube channel. He's a full-time marketer and blogger and currently has a case study that after about 9 months is already generating over $6,000 per month. We dive into his keyword research, his backlinking strategies, and how his background as a teacher has led to him sharing his knowledge on his YouTube channel. We even discuss how he completely skipped over display ads and Amazon Associates to go with a private affiliate network that has ultimately led to his revenue doubling almost every single month. So let's not waste any more time and let's talk with Jason Mills from the Affiliate School YouTube channel. What's up? My name is Chris and welcome to another video. If this is your first time here, we talk about building passive income streams that work for you so you don't have to. So if you want help to build those streams, consider subscribing. Also, before we get started, be sure to check the first link down in the description for my #1 way for making money online using blogging and affiliate marketing. Now let's get into the video. Welcome back to the Blogger Evolution. My name is Chris and we're here talking with Jason Mills from the Affiliate School YouTube channel. Be sure to go check it out. It's an amazing channel with lots of information about affiliate, blogging, affiliate marketing, SEO, all of that really cool, fun stuff. So Jason, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for inviting me, Chris. I jumped at the chance.
Awesome. I really do appreciate it, man. I'm going to be honest. I'm a little starstruck right now because I follow every one of your videos because they're so engaging and so awesome. It's like just being invited into your office just for a quick chat, you know? So thanks for what you do so much on the channel.
Yeah, you're absolutely very welcome. And thanks for saying that. Very kind words. What an introduction. So I hope I live up to expectation.
Well, let's go ahead and give it a try, shall we? If you don't mind, give people a quick background on how you got into affiliate marketing and blogging and all of this fun stuff and where you are today.
Yeah, sure. So I got into affiliate marketing really through started a fantasy football blog back in, this is probably 9-10 years ago now. And really it was very much just me putting some content together, just giving tips, weekly tips to people on the football. And it started to get a little bit of traction. So obviously as traffic started to grow, I wanted to learn more about how to bring in more traffic. And that was where I started to learn about SEO. And from there, I started to do some SEO freelancing. And I still do a little bit of that today, but kind of 4 or 5 years ago, I kind of made the transition into really pursuing my own projects, and that was through affiliate. So it was still content based, but it was kind of merging the content with the SEO and very much focusing on affiliate marketing. So like I started off promoting Amazon, like probably everyone does. Realized that the commission rates weren't fantastic, and then from there I've looked at other affiliate programs and so on, and so. Like this is obviously I'm really condensing this, but now I've got a portfolio of I think 7 or 8 content websites, and I've just had my best ever month in terms of revenues. So this last 12 months really has grown, and I think part of the reason for that is because it was around 12 months ago when I started the Affiliate School YouTube channel, and I think by starting the channel. It's made me document what I'm doing. So that automatically has made me be a little bit more reflective on what I'm doing myself. And so I think by trying to help others, it's had the indirect effect of helping me. So it's a win-win, I think. But yeah, so that was very much, probably 9 or 10 years of my life condensed into maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes.
Well,
obviously there's a lot of stuff that I'm not telling you there. Like I'm not telling you about the hours where I've stayed up until 3 a.m., where I've come back from I used to be a teacher. So I used to go and work all day. I had a young family. So you try and spend a bit of time with the kids, and then you're coming back and, working then from like 7 till 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and then up at 6 to go back to work and do it all again. So there's a lot of things there that I've obviously not mentioned. It's a lot of hard work, but I think if you've got the drive and you've got the mindset, anyone can do it. And I think I'm kind of living testimony of that. And I know people always say that, but it is true. There's nothing special about me. It's just probably drive, work ethic, trying to learn from as many good quality sources as possible. Yeah. And I think that's probably helped me along the way.
Man, that is a lot, and you did condense quite a bit in a couple of minutes, but that's perfectly okay because that's what I asked for, right? So, just to break down a couple of things that you just mentioned, you said you had a background in teaching, right? So did you teach anything specific? What was it that you were teaching, and how do you think it's kind of transitioned to your YouTube channel teaching?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably the biggest crossover, really. I almost feel like I've come full circle with the. I don't know, maybe subconsciously that's why I called it the affiliate school.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I used to work
sense.
in a school. So yeah, I used to be a secondary school teacher. I taught drama and I taught media studies. So I suppose those two elements. I don't always bring drama into a YouTube video, but if you've seen any of my videos, I do sometimes have some crazy intros and things, and sometimes people love them, sometimes people probably hate them, but you know what? I have fun with them. So, and with YouTube, I don't really get any kind of real return on investment in terms of direct financial reward from it, but I enjoy it. And like I said, I think because of that, having to reflect, I have had an indirect reward from it, but on a per video basis, it's not like worth my time and money to make them, but I enjoy them. So that's why I do it. And like I've always like, obviously if you go into teaching, you like to help people, you like to teach, you like to see people progress. And that's one thing that I've really been able to do with the affiliate school. I've made, obviously you see it in the comments, but I've made some real life connections with a good few people. And there's a couple of people that I've took on as almost like a mentor-mentee relationship. And they're starting to really progress now as well. And obviously I can't do that with everyone, but there are certain people that that I've met along the way and that I can do that with. And that's really what it's all about. So I think, yeah, I mean, I was a teacher for 10 years. And I think that there's definitely transferable skills there that I learned along the way that have helped here.
Yeah, I think that goes a long way, Jason, because I'm kind of a little similar because one of the superpowers I guess I used to say was when I was working a regular job is that they would give me like a complicated concept and kind of try my best to break it down so that I can create like a set of procedures or a training manual or videos and stuff for people. And I was doing that for the company, as much as possible. And it worked out fine, but taking that skill and then being able to turn it into something that makes me probably more money, more direct impact on people's lives and things of that nature with the YouTube channel, I kind of jumped at it. And it seems like you had something similar where you're able to, take what you learned secularly and then turn it into your own entrepreneurial journey. Would you agree with that at all?
Yeah, I would. Absolutely. And, it was a big decision to start the YouTube channel, for example, because obviously initially I didn't think it was necessarily going to benefit me in any way. It was very much, so it was a big decision to do that. But you know what, I know you talk about you've come into the office today, but obviously normally you'd be there on your own. It's quite boring. I have some clients, but I'm trying to transition away from that client work. And to be honest, I pretty much I'm not reliant on the client work anymore at all. But I've retained 3 or 4 just because I like working with them and I want to continue to support them. But if I was purely just doing affiliate, it would be a very, very lonely life. And that's one thing I think we just mentioned before I came on. I've just come back from Affiliate World Asia, which is a huge affiliate networking conference. And one of the things that was great to see there is that it was in Bangkok. So there were people there from Bangkok, there were people there from Chiang Mai, and both of those cities in Thailand have really great digital marketing and affiliate networks where people meet up on a regular basis. So they've got that. And I think that's fantastic. And I think if you don't partake in stuff like that, or if you don't get involved in online communities, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, whatever, it can be a very lonely existence. So I think it's important that if people are watching this and they're just starting out in affiliate, or maybe they are now a full-time affiliate, try not to hide yourself away completely. Unless you really love that life, and maybe people do. But for me, obviously I went from a job where I was working with people all day, every day, to a job where it's just me sat in an office. So, I think that's important. Yeah. It's very different.
Community is everything, especially when trying to figure out this whole online business stuff, and it can get really lonely, if you don't watch it, where most of your contact just comes from, words on a screen that you might have, or a Zoom call or something of that nature. That's actually part of the reason why I like doing these interviews for the channel as well, and for the podcast, is because
Exactly.
I like being able to chat with people and pick their brains. Now, you just mentioned Affiliate World Asia, like a huge conference that happens annually. I saw on your latest YouTube channel that you had met a few people, and one of which was Matt Diggity. So I'm curious, what's he like?
Yeah. Well, first of all, he was doing a fireside chat at the event. So Gregory Elfrink from Empire Flippers interviewed him. Yeah, he interviewed him on stage, and that was great. And I think I met him. I was invited to an after party that was hosted by FE International, who were like a direct competitor of Empire Flippers. But Empire Flippers were there too. It was like everyone's great. Everyone's just networking, getting on. And then Matt walks in and I'm thinking, oh, wow, it's Matt Diggity. I need to go and say hi. So I was literally like a fanboy. I was just walking up to him, like, Matt, I absolutely love your content. You're fantastic. And I just but he was so humble and down to earth. And really just like you kind of see him on YouTube and how he is, with his online persona. And he was sort of saying, oh, I was really nervous, and talks about him being an introvert, which I'm not like saying anything that he wouldn't say himself there, because I think he's posted that himself today on Facebook. But he was just, he was lovely. He was lovely.
That's
and
awesome.
he's because I think he lives in Chiang Mai, and so I think he's part of that kind of, he's set up a community there, or he's part of a digital nomad community. So and some of his the people from his network were there too. But yeah, he was just chatting to everyone. He was just like everyone else.
Yeah, man. So if anything, that means go to conferences. Jason's a perfect example. When you have an opportunity to go somewhere.
Brilliant. Yeah. And not just because of speaking to influencers, but just the people that are there, particularly that event, they're successful. Not all of them. There's obviously people at different stages. There's beginners, there's intermediates, there's really advanced. But there are people there, and you'll just have conversations with people that are clearly doing very, very well. They might not tell you exactly how much money they're making, but you can just tell from the conversations that are happening. And you just pick up little nuggets, and then you start to realize there's trends that all these people are doing one particular thing, or there's a certain type of mindset or behavior, or just the way that they are, so that's the sort of stuff. And for me, that was the biggest value that I got from that event. Yes, the talks were great, the exhibition room was good, but it was those networking opportunities where the real value came.
That's awesome. No, I definitely do recommend. I've been to a couple myself, and man, I definitely do see the value in them. But let's go ahead and change gears here, if you don't mind, Jason. Yeah. Cool. Let's talk about the age domain case study that you have going on your channel right now. Where is it now?
Do you know what? That's a good question, because I've not updated it for 2 months. I'm literally due to do an update now. Okay. But I think the last time the last time I did it was put an update out was 2 months ago. And I think at that point it was at around maybe 3.5K a month US dollars. Now I've not properly broke it down, because like I said, I've not updated the case study, which I will put out in the next week or two. But I'm pretty sure it's almost doubled. I think it's about 6K a month now, which is just, it's
and how
insane.
Old is it?
And just to put so that was what I was just going to say, to put people in the picture if they're not aware. This project was started April this year.
Wow.
So it really has blown my mind, really, in terms of what's possible with age domains. It's interesting, because I started 2 age domain projects this year. And the first one that I started, which was about a month and a half before this one, started okay. And that's dropped off a little bit now. But this one has just gone from strength to strength to strength. And initially, it didn't start off great. Stuff wasn't getting indexed. It wasn't really ranking. And I was thinking, and I'd already put it out there and said, I'm doing this case study. So I was literally pretty much prepared to just be plugging away at it for 12 months and just coming on every couple of months and saying, yep, there's no progress, there's no sales, stuff's still not indexing. And I thought, you know what? Well, at least it'll just show this is genuine, and it's fully transparent. But then it was only, I think it was month 2 or 3 when stuff suddenly started to index. And I think it was probably because it had got to a point where there was a certain amount of content that had started to, obviously I think it got to about the point where there was about 25, 30 posts. And then suddenly everything started to index, everything started to rank. I'd barely pointed any new backlinks at it, probably like 3 or 4. And suddenly it's making 1.5K a month, 2K a month. And it's just gone up and up and up and up from there. So I know there's a helpful content update rolling out at the moment. It's just, I think that they announced it yesterday. So so far so good. There's no negative impacts. There's no reason really why there should be. I've put quite a lot of time and effort into the content. Well, I've got a couple of really good content writers for that site. I've just hired another one who's a girl in the UK. So I've now got 3 decent writers for the site. I think the EAT on the site is it's not amazing, but there's been an effort there. That's probably something I do need to put a bit more work into. But it converts like crazy. And because of the space that it's in, the affiliate offers are like 40-50% commission. Yikes. So, and like on some of them, the average order value is like $100. So you're getting $50 commission per sale. In fact, it had one sale of, I think it was $500 and something. There was some sort of Black Friday offer where they had this massive bundle. And it was about so one sale was $250, which is just
that's beautiful. Yeah,
it's really nice. Yeah,
that is beautiful.
It's a good niche to be in. It gets repeat orders as well. So I think that's helping to build the revenues each month, because as people repeat order and then you bring in new sales, everything kind of compounds. So it's almost like a snowball effect.
Okay. So it's not recurring. You're just getting it every time someone comes through and buys. You end up getting a commission from the sale. That's awesome. Now, let me ask you this. So you said you had 2 age domains that you were running, and one's gone up, one's gone down. Any reasoning why that's happening, or is that just the nature of age domains, you think?
Yeah, I think it is a risk with age domains. Now, it could be because I think I do know why, and this is partly my fault. I think I went too broad with the niche, with the one that went down. So initially, everything started to rank, and wasn't making as much as this other one, but it was still making. I think it peaked at about $800 a month, but I didn't stick to one, although it was kind of the same niche. I went really broad into like 5 or 6 different sub niches. And I think if I'd stuck to one of those sub niches, I think the site would probably be doing much better now. That's the main thing that I can put it down to.
Do you think that, how much effort would you put into a site before you declared it a dud?
Good question.
Like effort, time, money, whatever you're dumping into it, how far would you go before you're like, okay, you know what, let me just park this and then move on to something that actually is
I think it
growing?
Depends what sort of site it is. I think if it's an age domain, I think you can pretty much tell within 4 to 6 months. I think if it's not happening after 6 months and you've put a good push on content, and like say you've got 40 or 50 posts on there in a 6-month period and it's doing nothing, I think there was probably an issue with the domain beforehand. And you always do your due diligence on a domain, but you can never know for 100%. If it was a fresh domain, so something that I'm just starting completely from fresh, I'm going to give that at least 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
Because sandbox, just domain age, the time it takes to build up that authority and the relevance and for Google to understand what the site is about, I'm probably going to go for at least that amount of time. And I have. My first 4 or 5 sites were all built on fresh. I've still got 3 of those. And one of them is my biggest earning site, and it was built from fresh. And that was registered in 2018.
Okay, so let me ask you this though. I mean, I hear what you're saying with how much you would put into a site before you're like, okay, let me just move on to another project or something like that. But will you ever build a site on a fresh domain, or are you like now all age domains?
No, I'm not. And do you know what? I still would. Yeah, I'd still build on fresh. And I've actually got the itch at the moment to do it.
Oh, I know that feeling.
When it's like you get an idea, because I don't know what you're like. I walk around and I just see niches everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I'll walk into a store and I don't go shopping physically very often. I'm usually online shopping. But if I go in somewhere, or I could just be like driving in the car and I see something, I'm like, oh, that's a niche. And yeah, and so I'm constantly getting that. But no, I would definitely build on fresh again. I don't think that's dead in the water at all. I think age domains, if you get it right, it's a brilliant shortcut.
Yeah.
I think for anyone beginning, unless you've got a good amount to invest, I think it can be an expensive learning curve to start with an age domain. I think it's much safer to start from fresh. You're gonna be able to make more mistakes. And you know what? Like my first two sites did nothing, as in like affiliate sites. I mean, when I think back to what they were like now, they were terrible because I didn't know any better.
Right.
I mean, since then, I've invested in courses. You talked about Matt Diggity. I mean, his affiliate lab course, I think that's great. I've spent thousands on other courses. Never really spent too much time learning on YouTube, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, generally focused on learning through courses. But like I say, at the beginning, I didn't know what to do, or you don't know what you don't know
typically when it comes to this business sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then sometimes a lot of information that you do get from YouTube, you got to be careful because who knows if it's still accurate, if it's years old and you're just like, oh, it's new to you. So you think that it's something that you probably should be doing when it's actually old school stuff right there.
Exactly. And there's so many different approaches, aren't there? Like, you talk about white hat, black hat, grey hat. I think most are probably grey hat, at least. It's very hard to be true white hat. But there's so many different approaches. So, and again, if you don't know how to vet that source of information, it can be tricky. And
that was actually one of my next questions for you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say, so yeah, you can carry on.
I apologize. So,
okay.
I was saying that was actually one of my questions. You must have been in my notes. Was like, do you recommend age domains for beginners? But unless you have a budget and maybe a little bit of a higher risk tolerance than most people, you probably could go ahead and jump into it.
Do you know what I mean? The prices of age domains now are crazy. If you buy,
they are.
Even if you go yourself direct through an auction, they're ridiculously priced. They'll go from like you'll watch a domain that's at $1,500, and in the last 2 hours it'll go up to like 8,000. I mean, typically that's how you also know it's probably a good age domain, because there's a lot of people bidding on it and wanting it. But if you picked up you could pick up a domain at $8,000 at auction yourself, if you were to buy that through a broker site like ODYS or SERP Names or somewhere like that, you're probably going to be paying double, because they've got margins to make, and they're obviously making a profit on what they buy. So you see some domains that are like a DR27 and it's on for like $12,000, and you're thinking
it's ridiculous.
Nuts.
But they know the value in it too, because like you said, like in your particular example with your age domain, like total, how much, like if you had to ballpark it, about how much money total do you think your site has made since March?
Okay, so since March, probably $20,000, something like that. And I've spent probably, I would say, well, I was gifted the domain for the case study. If I had have bought it, it would have cost $3,000. That was through SERP Names. So it would have cost, so let's say it cost $3,000. I've probably spent about $8,000 on content. So say 11, and I've probably spent about $1,500 on links. So probably about 13K in total, but I'm pretty confident. So it's already in profit, but I'm pretty confident now that just maybe a couple of posts a month and just let it keep going. And I think it'll be recurring revenue. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's a great return. Let's just say you're all in 13,000 and you've gotten back at least 20 so far, and there's no sign of it stopping anytime soon. And then if you exited the site too, that'll that return is insane. What
It
you would
is.
get with
It
that,
is, yeah.
which I think is once you start getting into these age domains and paying people to create the content for you, it becomes an investment game. And I like it because it's an investment game that I have a little bit more control over. I mean, I understand Google's gonna Google, but for the most part, I have a lot more control over just investing in some random stock and just hoping that it goes up. So that's really cool. But let's switch gears and talk about monetization, because I think I've been picking up from you that the traffic isn't like ridiculous on this age domain site, yet you're getting some really good returns because of the affiliate program that you happen to be using. What's the traffic look like on the site compared to the income again?
So the traffic now is as high as it's ever been. It's around about 900 to 1,000 organic hits per day.
Okay.
So it's at around the kind of 27 to 30,000 hits per month. But even when it was at like 6,000-7,000 hits per month, it was making very good money. But still 30,000 hits a month. That's not crazy levels of traffic. And like I say, that's around the kind of $6,000 a month mark. It might be slightly higher than that, actually. I will be putting that together soon.
And is that straight affiliate or display ads also?
Straight affiliate.
Straight affiliate.
I've never ever. I'm not the guy to come to talk about display ads. I've never run a single display ad in my life.
Wow, that's I come from the exact same thinking. For the longest time, it was just straight affiliates. Over the last maybe 2.5 years, maybe 2 years, I've been dabbling a little bit more with display ads, and it's a good way to earn money pretty passively. But you got to build up the traffic, and that's the hard part, right? So I usually tell people to kind of, while you're building, go for the ads just because it's easy. But but put as much time as you can into the affiliates, because you're going to make 10, 20 times as much money with affiliates as you would just concentrating on the display ads. So let me ask you this then. So you said you tried to do Amazon early on and then realized that, okay, I needed to go another direction. How did you find this other affiliate program that was paying this 50% commission?
I think it was possibly through watching content by guys like Matt Diggity. So I know he's talked a lot about high-paying affiliate programs.
Yeah,
and I think that's how I kind of got into it. But like my first kind of 3 main sites were all UK based. So UK Amazon at the time was paying, and I think still now pays a little bit more than US Amazon. So it was like for my niche, it was about 7 or 8%. So it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrific. But obviously then when you start to learn about programs that are paying 15% or 20%, and then you find ones that are paying 40%. And then the real key difference is once you start to generate money for these companies and you've got good traffic and it's traffic that they want, they start to compete against each other. So that the base commission for say 2 companies might be 40%, but then one company will say, "What if you put us above the other product, position 1, we'll pay you 50%."
Sweet.
And then so you go back to the other company and say, "Oh, look, I really like your product. It converts really well, but these guys are offering me 50%." And then they go, "Oh, we'll give you 60." And I've got one product. I've genuinely got one product that pays 65% commission. And it's just, you just think, how much margin are they making on their products?
Yeah, that's a great, that's a great question.
It is a great question, like, because they're still making money. So one of the biggest things for me that made the biggest difference was getting to know the affiliate managers. Now that's
Beautiful.
Something you can't do with Amazon. You can't do it. There's no interest. There's no one to talk to. But when you've got bespoke programs, or even like with Awin and Share a Sale, some of them will still have dedicated affiliate managers. Get to know them, because they're going to send you products. If you're generating traffic, they're going to send you products. They're going to increase your commission rates. They might send you free gifts. I mean, this year I've been to Mallorca in a Spanish island. I've had this Apple Watch. This was a gift. In fact, these headphones, these were a gift from an affiliate company. So you get all sorts of stuff, and it really depends on if the affiliate program values the affiliates. And if you can find niches where there are affiliate programs where they put the affiliate first, then that is an absolute game changer, because they will go head over heels to keep you happy, as long as they're obviously benefiting from it as well, which clearly they obviously are. Then yeah, and that's, for me, has been a real game changer. So the transition from Amazon to these types of programs is key.
Yeah, I think Amazon's a waste of time for the most part. It's a good catch-all, for certain things, but for the most part, I like to promote other stuff. And I like the point you say there about working with affiliate managers. I mean, if you really work it right, one email or one phone call or something like that, I found good success in reaching out and saying, hey, do you mind jumping on a Zoom call and we can just chat? That way we now have a face-to-face relationship, and they know who I'm not just a random affiliate on the internet. Yeah. I'm a real person. Maybe I'll know a little bit about their family. They know a little bit about mine. And usually a single email can double your commission rate, can get really crazy with it. So that's a good point that you make there. And sometimes newer bloggers don't like doing that, right? Because they like to stay in front of a computer and just do that. But reach out just a little bit.
It's the confidence of having the traffic. Once you've got the traffic, it gives you the confidence to go and have those conversations. But going back to the Affiliate World conference, I was meeting some of the networks at that conference that I actually promote. So you walk up and you put a face to the name, you have conversations that you probably wouldn't have otherwise. And even new programs, so new networks that I'd not even heard of. I'd probably Googled, for affiliate networks in that particular niche, but I'd not heard of them. I turn up there and there's probably 4 or 5 different programs that I can now access. And as soon as you say, oh, this is what I do, this is the type of traffic I've got, and I'll tell you now, as soon as you say SEO traffic or search traffic, their eyes light up. Yeah. Their eyes literally light up, because that is the best type of traffic that they can get, because it's targeted. It's not cold traffic. It's not cold Facebook and Instagram ads or TikTok or YouTube ads. It's search specific organic traffic, and their eyes light up and they will do anything to get you to promote their products. Almost.
Yeah, no, I mean, SEO traffic is, in my opinion, the best traffic on the planet. It is. There's nothing better than that type of traffic. Now, you mentioned before how sometimes you'll have maybe a buyer's guide or a list post or something that has different programs on it, and then you're an affiliate of each one of those, and then you can kind of get these people to compete. What kind of CRO or conversion rate optimization do you put on your pages to increase the number of clicks based on the people landing on the page?
Well, one of the big things that I've done in the last month or two is giving quick verdicts. So, typically you might have a top 3 or a table of 10 products. They're okay, but the problem with those is you're not helping the buyer to make a decision. In fact, you're probably making the decision harder unless you've got something there. So let's say it's a top 3, then maybe if you say, this is best for people over 40, this one's best for those on a budget, and this one's best for another type of person. That kind of helps, because it's making it kind of more unique to that particular person. But if they're not feeling like they're one of those 3 types of people, then you've not helped them to make a decision. Whereas if it's something more generic, where you can categorically say that for most people, for 90% of people, this is the single best product, a quick verdict box. So how I would typically lay it out is I would have kind of an intro paragraph straight into quick verdict. And that's got it'll have an image, it'll have a mini title that will say quick verdict or our number 1 so-and-so, a very short paragraph of kind of sales type copy to say why this is the best, and then a clear call to action button. And then go into the rest of the content, where you would then list them and you would have your call to action underneath each one. And what I've recently started to do is, with my affiliate links where I'm adding quick verdicts, I'm tracking each and every one. So with you can't do this with Amazon, I don't think, but with a lot of these bespoke programs, and even Awin do this, I think ShareASale do it, you can add what are called sub IDs or or tracking parameters per link. So you can literally set up a link, and I can attach the quick verdict parameter to that link, so that then I can go into my reports and see how many of my conversions are coming from that specific quick verdict box.
Yep.
And some of those are converting at like 30-40%. So
Yikes.
people are just clicking on them, and they trust, because they've gone through Google. They're probably at the right stage in the buying cycle, particularly if it's a review. And this works great if it's a review, by the way. So rather than a buyer's guide, because there is only that one product. Unless you're going to say this product is trash, but this one's better. And that's where sometimes I'll put reviews on products that maybe don't have 40% affiliate commissions. It might be something that's only on Amazon, but it's an inferior product. So I can legitimately say, okay, this product's okay. It's a little bit cheaper, but this one's better. And the one that I'm going to promote is going to be my 40, 50, 60% commission product. So yeah, but I get it almost, typically try and get it so it's kind of just where the fold would be. So it's fairly prominent. And I think, I was talking to a guy the other week, and he was saying like 80% of your sales happen in that first kind of 20% of the page. And you know, once you've got the click, you've got the click. And a lot of these affiliate programs operate on first click attribution rather than last click attribution. So if it's first click attribution, you just want to get that click. And then if you can get this, obviously you want to get the sale, but they might come back and read more. But yeah, that's one of the biggest things for conversion rate optimization for me, has been those quick verdict boxes. And like I said, I've just had my best month, and I put part of that success down to these quick verdicts. I'm still rolling them out. I've got hundreds of pages now that I've got to go through and apply this to.
Yeah, so just to kind of crystallize what you just mentioned here, one of the biggest factors that you've been using to be able to increase the amount of clicks that you have to your affiliate programs is by putting like a quick verdict or a quick like definitive answer for somebody who first lands onto the page. I would imagine because, you know, people come to your website because they are looking for direction. They're looking for something, not to be more confused. You know, getting that, going to a restaurant and getting a menu with 50 things on it doesn't help anybody, right? It makes you get analysis by paralysis or paralysis by analysis, right?
Exactly.
So I like having that definitive, like, this is the one you should get, and here's the link to go buy it right now. And then you go deeper for the people who want to read more. So that's a pretty good idea, in my opinion. That works out really well.
Yeah, it also hits the Google Helpful Content Update guidelines, because they actually clearly said, we don't want 4,000 words or 5,000 words of content. We want you to give people the answer to their search intent. So by putting that quick verdict in, you're giving them that answer right at the top of the page. Yeah, okay, you've still got, and we all do it, you know, we all know that, okay, if every article on page one has got 3,000 words, we're going to go with 3,000 words because we're not going to rank otherwise. But don't leave it till the very bottom of the page to give them that absolute verdict. Still put a verdict down at the bottom, but put one in up at the top as well. And then for me, that's made a big difference. And like I say, I also think it's probably helped a little bit with rankings, because you're hitting those helpful content guidelines.
Yeah, you're probably sending pretty positive user experiences to Google when people land and then maybe they click through and go to a product, and they don't go back to the SERP, right? So then because they're not doing that, then Google's like, oh, the information and content must have been good there. And I think that does go a long way. Let's change gears just a tad. We're still going to talk about the age domain, but you mentioned earlier how you had spent around $1,500 or so on this age domain in links. Now, granted, buying the age domain itself, you know, puts you a long way in getting some decent links to begin with. But what other types of backlinking do you do to try to increase the your authority on these sites?
Yeah, sure. So typically guest posts. So some magic source there really. And I just look for decent traffic and relevance with those. Most age domains worth their salt will already have high authority links. So they already have like links from like BBC, Guardian, TechCrunch, Wired, and things like that, which are brilliant. But they're not necessarily niche relevant. So what I typically tend to do is go for those really niche relevant links. And I'm not that fussed about it being a DR70 or DR80. I'm quite happy with a DR25, DR30 that's got 4,000 hits a month if it is super relevant to my niche. And like I said, I've not done loads of those, and I've just been, specific with where I've placed them. I've been quite targeted with the anchor text. I'm not, again, that's the other kind of protection you get with an age domain, is that you can really go aggressive on the anchor text, because you've probably already got 100 to 300 links that have mostly got branded anchor text going to the homepage.
Exactly,
and it might have anchor text going to inner pages as well. But if there's going to be loads of that branded stuff, so you haven't got to sprinkle as much of that in. You can really go aggressive with your anchor text, and yeah, that's worked for me.
Nice.
So yeah, mainly guest posts, a little bit of link insertion, maybe, but I've not done too much of that. I'm just about to explore Harrow a little bit more for the age domains. I've not used it yet, but I don't think there's such a need, because, like I said, you've already got those high authority links.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who, and even other YouTube channels, they are really hard on don't build links at all. Just do everything natural and yada, yada, yada. And I mean, that can work. It might take a lot longer, but it can work. But when you're going after, you have an age domain, you kind of get the best of both worlds, right? Because you already got the links. You don't have to worry about building them. You can just concentrate on the content and then moving forward from there. Does that make sense? Does that seem like it would work out?
Absolutely. So if you're someone that's watching this and you're scared of doing backlinking, and you should be if you don't know anything about it, because you can make big mistakes with backlinking, then an age domain is great, because you've already got those and you really don't need to worry too much. And even if you do make the odd mistake with your backlinks, it's not going to destroy your site. Mm-hmm. So I think an age domain does probably appeal to people that don't know too much about backlinking or don't really want to partake in that.
Gotcha.
But what I will say is, and you are right, there's a lot of people that do kind of say don't partake in backlinking. And I said this on my YouTube video earlier today. At those networking events that I went to at Affiliate World, everyone that was there does backlinking. I mean, I don't need to probably sell it to you that backlinking works, but it's it does.
That's powerful. I'm going to be honest. When I let's just say I got a new age domain and I'm starting to build on it, I'll do some competitive research, and if I see a domain that's getting 100,000 page views a month and has a DR of 0.7, or something like that, I'm licking my chops. It's like, oh, this
absolutely.
is easy. This is easy. Okay, great. Okay, yes. Yeah, that's pretty powerful. That pretty much everyone that you saw at an affiliate conference, who people are making boatloads, truckloads of money doing this stuff, and a lot of them are doing it because of their backlinks, that are doing some backlinking. Not to say that content isn't important. It's probably as much as important, if not more. Yeah, but the backlinks definitely gives you some authority. Lets Google see. I've actually noticed that even when backlinking is done properly, I don't seem to get hit by many algorithm updates, at least not big ones. At least that's across my portfolio. It might be a lot different for other people.
Same for, yeah.
But I've noticed that when you do have a decent backlink profile from some pretty high authority sites, you don't typically get hit as hard, with algorithm updates. All right, cool. Well, look, we're getting close to the end of our time. I did want to dive a little bit into your keyword research, and I know we talked about the monetization and how you even though you're not getting a ton, like hundreds and thousands of people to your site per month, you're still making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 per month with these sites. How do you do your keyword research?
Very much like what you just mentioned there. Reverse engineer the competition. So the first thing I'll look to do if I'm going into a niche is I want to know what the potential is. So I'm going to type in some very generic keywords. So let's say, I don't know, it's a site about washing machines. So let's say I'm looking at like the best washing machines under 10 kilos, the cheapest washing machines. things like that. I'll go in with some generic kind of keywords like that. Just put them into Google and use a piece of software like Keywords Everywhere. It's really cheap and it gives you the search volumes. Obviously, you want to do that for the location that you're targeting. So if it's US, obviously you do it for US. If it's UK, you do it for UK. As long as those search volumes look okay, so that's a tick. I'm happy with that. And then what I'll do is I'll look at one of those keywords and see who's on page 1 for it. I'll then stick a Chrome extension called SERPworks on. And again, it's I don't think it's free, but if it's not free, it's very cheap. SERPworks. And what that will do is it will put a SERP overlay. So it will show you things like the word counts, the age of the site. It'll show you the DA of the site, the MOS metric DA. And typically what I'm doing there is I want to see sites that are either pretty young or they've got a low DA. And if I'm seeing a site on page 1 for a search term that's got good search volume and it's got a DA of less than 25, then that's a really, really good indication to me that there's opportunity in this niche. And then what I'll do is I'll take any websites like those that are, so let's say it's best washing machines under 10 kilos. Let's say that search term's got 3,000 searches a month. And there's 2 sites on page 1 that have got a DA of 23 and 17. I'll take those 2 URLs, I'll pop them into a spreadsheet. They're 2 competitors. I'll repeat that process with maybe 5 or 6 different search terms until I've got a list of maybe 7 or 8 low DA competition. I'll then pop them into a tool like Ahrefs, and that's typically what I use, and look at what their estimated traffic is. And like you said there, if you then have got sites that like a DA 23 and you put it into Ahrefs and it's got traffic of like 80,000 a month or 150,000 a month, bingo. What keywords are they targeting? So you can literally just click on keywords and it'll list all the keywords. It'll give you keyword difficulty, but you already know that the keyword difficulty is low if they're ranking for it, because we know they're a fairly low competition site. Obviously, we need to probably delve a little bit deeper, just check that they're not hiding backlinks and things like that, but or there's a redirect in place. But as long as everything kind of checks out, I'm just going to go through that list of keywords and I'm going to start with the ones that I think are probably the easiest to rank for, that have got highest search volume. And I'll just formulate a content plan from that. And sometimes you have to go through that process again. So I tend to task my writers each month with what they're going to do for the following month. So towards the end of each month, I'll go through this process for most of my sites. But if I've already got my list, I can just pick a competitor out. As long as they're still ranking, they've still got traffic, I'll just pick off their keywords. Nice. And then it's just a case of creating better content than they have and better links or more links.
Yeah,
and that's it. That's
an outstanding strategy.
Science.
Yeah, that's an outstanding yet pretty simple strategy, Yeah, and now you mentioned a second ago, like hiding backlinks. How do you find a website's hidden backlinks?
It's difficult to do. You can't. Yeah, you can't really see if they're hiding them, but you can get an idea if they are. It's difficult. It's almost like something that you kind of you learn to do over time. Typically, if they're hiding backlinks, it will be PBNs that they're hiding. So and that might be sites that they own themselves or sites that they've bought. Although, to be fair, I don't think as many websites do cloak their links anymore, because they tended to pick up penalties for doing that by Google. So I don't think there's as much practice of that going on anymore. There did used to be some softwares that you could pop things into, because essentially what these link cloakers do is they block certain crawlers from seeing their links. So they'll block tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush and all the big ones, and Moz and so on. I don't even look for them anymore, to be honest.
Really? But, okay.
I don't look to see if they're hiding them. You just kind of get an idea. Like if you see it, like you said there, if you see a site that's like a DR 0.7, and it's got traffic of 300,000. I'm looking at it and thinking, like, why? there's a reason here. What's going on? And sometimes it might be that there's been like 3 redirects pointing in at the site, and they're just for whatever reason the tool hasn't increased the DR yet. There's lots of different reasons, but that's why if you can get multiple sites in your competitor list that are all low DA, then you get a feel for it and you start to realize what's achievable and what's not. And that's why it's so hard not to start new niches, because there's like people say now, like people have been saying for the last 5 years, oh, it's saturated, affiliate marketing is saturated, SEO is dead. It's not.
Not even close.
There's still so much opportunity out there.
Yeah, I just acquired a new domain, not a domain, a new site, and I was just doing a little bit of keyword research, and I was just like, no one has ever written this. Like, I was so confused because there's a ton of traffic and there's no articles out there that even targets it, even remotely. I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy, you know. To find some of those hidden places is sometimes it's better to have like a no-name backlink, not backlink, a no-name SEO tool that maybe a lot of people don't really use because they block the big ones, right? I've been using like openlinkprofiler.org, I think it is, and that one typically can. You got to be careful because you can find yourself. I was doing due diligence on one domain and everything looked great. Then I went to Open Link Profiler and I was like, oh, this doesn't look great, you know, because they're not blocking that one. But then to your point, I do like the idea of just looking at it and thinking, okay, it's getting a ton of traffic. There's no DA there at all. Maybe there's not a 301 redirect or anything like that. You know, even if I were to go after that, I'd probably still do pretty good regardless of what's going on because the DR isn't high on the site in the first place, right? So, okay, so we're getting close. I don't want to hold you too much longer. Let me ask you, what would be something that you would tell someone who might be just wanting to get into blogging and they're thinking, you know, they're hearing from everybody else that, oh, blogging's dead, doesn't work anymore, SEO, yada, yada. What would you tell someone if they're looking to jump in?
I would tell them that it 100% is not dead. There's plenty of opportunity out there. However, you need patience because, and I say this on the channel, if I ever put a video out that's aimed at beginners, I will always say, do not expect results within 12 months. If anything, don't even expect big results within 18 months because this is a long-term game. You might completely mess up your first site, but you'll learn from that. So to me, if you go in with the mindset that every failure is an opportunity to learn, then at some point you will start to see that success. But too many people go into this, I think, expecting to get rich quick, make thousands per month within like 3 or 4 months. That's an unrealistic expectation. Go in with a long-term mindset, focus on quality, just absorb as much information as you can, but take as much action as you can. And imperfect action is better than no action.
Agreed. Yeah, totally. So would you say it's worth it?
Oh, yes, 100%. I mean, look, it's changed my life. Absolutely. No questions asked. Even if I hadn't gone in too deep with affiliate, my day-to-day life would be different now to what it was when I was a teacher. But what affiliate has allowed me to do is to, like I said right at the start, I've still got 3 or 4 clients, but I'm very, very selective on who those clients are. They understand that if I'm going away for 2 or 3 weeks, they can't call me. You know, that's the relationship because they know that they're getting good results from what I do. I don't do massive reports for them. They can go to an agency for that and have a project manager. I'm someone that's going to do the work for them. And the point is that with affiliate, you could be anywhere. Like I could have stayed, if I hadn't got a family and kids to come back to, I would still be in Asia now. I'd be on a beach in Phuket or Koh Samui or somewhere like that. And I probably wouldn't have come back until January or February. In fact, it's been bloody freezing here today in the UK. So I might have even waited for the whole of winter. But I couldn't have done that if I was a teacher. You know, so it has changed my life. So yes, it 100% is worth it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. That is the beauty of it. You know, being able to work from your laptop, that laptop lifestyle that a lot of people kind of over sensationalize online, but it's a real thing if you actually put it
It is a
together.
real thing. But do you know what? Even the simplicity, I know you said you just finished the school run. I'll be going and doing the school run in 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. And like, so to some people, that might sound mundane and boring. But to me, that's still exciting to be able to, you know, pick my kids up from school, take them to school. I couldn't do that before. I used to walk in the door and they'd be going to bed in half an hour.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Which is terrible. It's terrible. So it doesn't have to be sensational. It's just what it is for you. Whatever it is for you, it gives you that freedom to decide and the freedom to actually physically be where you want to be and when you want to be there.
You're speaking to my heart, Jason, man. You're speaking to my heart. Where can people find you,
this
man?
Podcast. I've enjoyed
it.
it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time to be on.
I'm so excited now. You've got me over my jet lag.
Awesome. Where can people find you?
The Affiliate School on YouTube. So I think it is youtube.com/ at the Affiliate School, or just search for the Affiliate School. Yeah, that's me.
All right, cool. So we'll be sure to put that in the show notes or the description, depending on where you're watching or listening to this. And thanks so much, Jason, for being on, man. This has been an awesome interview. I appreciate your candor going through everything, and I wish you future success.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me, and thanks for the invite, and good luck yourself. Cheers,
all right, man. See you later.